Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for the BMF belt will take place at UFC 300 on April 13 on the main card. And what an incredible fight this is. The majority of the people are rightfully so going with Justin Gaethje as the favorite in this fight. I can definitely understand why, considering that Max Holloway had attempted to fight at 155 against Dustin Poirier, and he was not successful in that fight. But my official prediction, I'm going to go with Max Holloway. And I'm going to go with Max Holloway via finish, TKO or knockout. Um, the majority of the people are saying that Max Holloway doesn't have any power and this and that. And I don't know how one can say that when he literally won his last fight via a one shot knockout. No follow ups needed against the Korean zombie. Max Holloway is a championship level fighter who was able to defend his belt multiple times and against guys like Jose Aldo, beating him 2 times by knockout, beating Frankie Edgar, beating Brian Ortega, who just looked really good in his last fight, fighting Korean Zombie, fighting Charles Oliveira and winning, um, fighting Dustin Poirier 2 times, fighting Conor McGregor, fighting Alexander Volkanovski 3 times, who actually was able to do incredibly well against Islam Makhachev in the first fight. So Max Holloway has been fighting at this level for a very long time. His fights against Alexander Volkanovski, I'm not sure that Gaethje would be able to do as well against Makhachev as Volkanovski did in the first fight. And Max hanged in there with Volkanovski at least in the second fight. And the first fight was really competitive. I've seen some training footage of Max Holloway, and he has looked amazing. He looked amazing against the Korean Zombie. And I'm just seeing him winning this fight because styles makes fights, and Justin Gaethje is not going to attempt to take Max Holloway down. Justin Gaethje doesn't have any jiu-jitsu, so Justin Gaethje's only way to win this fight is essentially to knock out Max Holloway. That's essentially his only way of winning the fight. If the fight goes to a decision, Max Holloway is a much more volume fighter than Justin Gaethje is. Um, the only time that Justin Gaethje has won a fight over 5 rounds was the one against Tony Ferguson. And Tony Ferguson was just there to be hit on that fight. And he actually came out in an interview and said as much. He basically admitted that he wanted to get hit in that fight for whatever reason. So I'm actually picking Max Holloway in this fight. He's going to have the more volume, and I think his striking is better. Sure, Gaethje has more power, but Max's shots are straighter, and all it takes is really one. Charles Oliveira knocked down Justin Gaethje with one shot, and it's not impossible for Max to do that at all, considering he just did it in his last fight, and considering what he's done over his career. I forgot to mention Max fight against Jair Rodriguez, where he used his wrestling. Max fight against Calvin Kattar, which was the most significant strikes landed in a UFC fight. If Max Holloway has a performance like he did against Calvin Kattar, he can win this fight. And he doesn't even need to be 100% perfect because he has an excellent chin. So I'm going with Max Holloway to win this fight, either by knockout, maybe a decision. I don't think Gaethje's won a decision in his entire career, but I could be wrong. At least in the UFC, I haven't seen it. Most of his wins have been by TKO. Um, but that's what I got. Max Holloway. Tell me your opinion, like and subscribe.